As we come together as one ohana, in celebration, in discussion, as we gather with our trustees of OHA, as they look towards the well-being of our community and our Kanaka Maoli. We thank you for all that they do and for the kuleana in which they serve. We ask for the blessing of this occasion and this meeting, that all good things will come about. Please help and guide our trustees in their decisions and for the good of the people, and that it may all be guided by the Spirit of God as well as aloha. Please bless this occasion and each and everyone here. We mahalo kia kua for our Hawaii nei and all that our kupuna have passed on. For these things we humbly ask, makainoa o kamakua mikikei ki mika ohane malele, a mama o noa, lele na pule, lele wale akola, amen.
Mahalo, Brother Danny. At this time, I'd like to call our meeting to order. Let the record show that it is September 25th, Wednesday, and it's 6:35 p.m. I'm going to ask our board secretary for the roll call.
Aloha mai kako.
Present.
Present.
Present. Thank you. Aloha, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to our Hawaii Island community meeting. It's always a pleasure to be on this island. As you well know, it's the island that I was born, and I just love coming home. It's a pleasure for me to be here to listen to you folks' testimonies if you have any community concerns. And tonight we celebrate Trustee Trask, who will be leaving our board at the end of this term. And we mahalo her for all that she's contributed to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. I wasn't able to be here earlier, but we do acknowledge all that she has contributed. At this time, thank you. We also want to thank her for the wonderful site visit that our people have been able to go down to Waipio today. And not anybody can get down there, but she was able to get them to go down and visit the Waipio area, which I haven't been there yet. So I'm really saddened that I wasn't able to be on this island earlier. So we thank you for that too, Trustee Trask. Tonight, I'd like to introduce again, have our trustees introduce themselves and their staff. And we'll start with Trustee Wahe'e.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Aloha mai kako. I'm Trustee John Wahe'e IV, Trustee at Large, and my With me tonight is my aide, my office manager, Melissa Winahan. Right over there, she's over here. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I want to thank all the staff that put this meeting together. And I especially want to thank our lovely trustee from Hawaii Island for hosting us tonight, Mililani Trask. And I want to say that it has, and I mean this, it has been an honor and privilege to be her colleague. She's one of the few people that I know that I could honestly call a legend in her own time. She was a trustee long before any of us were. The first Kia'aina of Kalahui, Hawaii, back when they had in excess of 20,000 members. She, friends with Mother Teresa, and I want to reiterate what a privilege it has been to work with her as a trustee. I also want to thank her sincerely for being a good friend, a good friend to me, and being there for me when I was not always doing well. And I will say that she is one of the, and I'm sure to all her friends that know her one-on-one, she is one of the most delightful and funny people that I know, and I appreciate all the time she's been there for me. She's also a person, aside from everything else, she's a Trekkie and a bird watcher, and she rode across the country on a motorcycle. And I say this, and it's not rhetoric, I truly hope that I will continue to see you, and we'll continue to be friends and hang out. Again, mahalo, Trustee Trask.
Aloha mai kākou. My name is Luana Alapa, and I'm trustee for the islands of Molokai and Lanai. I'd like to take this time to introduce my one staff members here. Her name is Pohai Ryan. There she is back there, so thank you, Pohai. She's always got my back, but and thank you so much, always. I just want to quickly say about my colleague here with Mililani. Though my time with her has been short, she's an icon, truly. And there's no amount of words that could describe the amount of love that she has for her people. And then to hear John express all of his experiences with her, I'm quite envious. But I also can see that you truly admire Mililani, and I'm sure many folks can relate to that admiration for her. The work will continue, and we will always keep in touch, Mililani. You've been so much fun, this one. She's good fun, you guys. And I'm glad, and I'm so happy that I got to call you my friend and colleague. But once again, mahalo for all that you have done for us.
Aloha no, aloha pumehana, everyone. I want to first of all say mahalo for joining us this evening. My name is Kalia Kaka, and I'm honored to serve as your OHA Oahu trustee, as well as the chair of OHA's committee, the Committee of Beneficiary Advocacy and Empowerment. Much of what we do is regarding advocacy and its legislative work. Joining me this evening is my kokua, Nathan Takeuchi. I think he was right over, he's right over there at the entrance, as well as my ever supportive Ohana, my father, Danny Akaka Jr., who did the Pule Mahalo Papa, my mother, Ana Akaka, who is a Hilo gal, born and raised here, and also my ever supportive husband, Tyler, there with our baby. Our baby over there, all matching in red. I want to mahalo everyone who made this possible this evening, our administration, our chair's office, our Hilo office, all the many hands. Again, all of you for attending. It's so important that we're here and that you're here to join us so that we're able to stay on the pulse on the needs and concerns of our Ohanas here, on what's working and where we could use some improvement and where we can even more so collaborate. And I want to say mahalo anui to our Hawaii Island trustee, Mililani Trask. There's so many things I could say about our ever colorful and passionate for the well-being of our people, Mililani Trask. She represents a legacy that the Trask family continues to carry on. The sacrifices that she, her sister, her ohana have made, and the ever-present history of their family, it's always going to be remembered. And for me, personally, I will always cherish and remember the stories that you've shared with me on your experiences working with my grandfather, if his time in U.S. Senate, Dan Akaka Jr. I'm sorry, Dan Akaka, Jr. is my father. Dan Akaka, Daniel Kahikina Akaka, and the love that you have always showered onto my baby throughout your time at OHA, and to my husband, and your love always checking on my father with his medical experiences lately. And I want to mahalo you for that. Thank you. I'm going to miss you, but I know you're going to be doing good work in your own way in the community here on the Moko Keawe in Ola'a. Mahalo, everyone.
Aloha mai kako e maho aloha. I'm Keli'i Akina, trustee at large, and I'd like to introduce my aide, Ruben Sierra. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's just so wonderful to be back on Moku'o Keawe. This is the spiritual home of my ohana. On the Lupanui side, we come from Ka'u and Puna districts. Akina side, we are from the Kanakaole clan, and there's just no way I can walk around the island without sensing the majesty and the beauty and the wonder of this place. I'm just honored to be here with you tonight and hope that I can serve you. I would like to acknowledge tonight a couple of trustees from before who've joined us this evening. Earlier, I saw Malama Solomon and also Rowena Akana over there. Aloha. And if I have missed anyone else, we welcome you and are glad you're here. I don't want to take too long, so I won't repeat the thoughts I shared earlier this evening toward my older sister, Mililani Trask. Thank you for hosting us tonight. Thank you for your service to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And Mililani, congratulations on your second retirement from OHA. I promise I won't try to persuade you to go for another term. But we have done so much together. We've campaigned together. We've fought on behalf of the Hawaiian people all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court together. We've hugged. As I said earlier, she's been my big sister by both scolding me and by standing with me. We love you, Mililani. You're not leaving us. We're with you always. Aloha.
Aloha. Aloha. Okay, got it. I see a lot of familiar faces here tonight. So happy to see you. I'm Brickwood Galutaria. I serve as at-large trustee, not unlike my colleagues next to me on both sides. Very proud to be a trustee here at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. I've served for many years in the state senate, so I really look forward to be a part of OHA's next chapter. I'd like to introduce you folks to another microphone. And at the same time, introduce you to our aide, Leanne Durant, right over there. She serves our office. Thank you so much. And I'll be very short and precise because I've heard so much accolades for our dear friend, Mililani Trask. And so, as we used to say, and we still repeat the words, Madam Chair, I would like the words of the previous speakers to be added into the record as if they were my own. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful night.
Aloha mai kako. Aloha mai kako. I'm Keone Souza, trustee at large. My roots come here. My family from Hoku Street in Hilo. In fact, I was able to drive my staff around today and check out my grandfather's house that we sold in 1995. It's always good to be back. I want to introduce Kawi Robello. She's part of our team. It's great to be here. Everyone is talking about Auntie Millie, Milani Trask, Trustee Trask. First of all, it's so good to see so many familiar faces. Kapua Francisco, Poki'i, Chapahinui, the Kaluas. You know, if you tune into our board meetings, what I like to do is have quality conversation on behalf of our beneficiaries. I question certain things because I feel that it's questions that you guys may have, questions that I may have as being a newer trustee. And at the end of the day, me and Trustee Trask, we get into it a lot. Yeah? We get into it a lot, and it's real, you know? But that's what I want. That's what I always want to happen in the boardroom. Quality conversation, disagree. At the end of the day, we take the vote, we move on. And Trustee Trask, I respect you. I never thought I would have this opportunity to actually be able to argue with you, right? And I'm her favorite trustee, by the way. Auntie Robbie, good to see you. But at the end of the day, you know, you've advocated for our Hawaiian issues and so many things, for how many decades. And we respect you, and I will continue to respect you. And even after you leave Oahu, I'm still going to argue with you, I promise. Good to see everyone. Aloha.
And I'm the Maui trustee, although born and raised here in Hawaii. I'd like to introduce you to my staff, who is Kanane Iyaya, Amber Kalua, and our board secretary, Lehua Itokazu. Joining us tonight is our CEO, Kapohana Stacy Ferreira. Stacy, will you please introduce yourself and our administrative staff supporting us here this evening?
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, trustees. Aloha, everyone, for joining us this evening. Coming from the administration, joining you tonight, we have Chief Operating Officer Kehao Pu'u. We have Senior Director of Hawaiian Cultural Affairs, Hailama Farden. Director of Oiwi Wellbeing and Aina Momona, Kuike Kamakeo Ohelo. Director of Education and Culture-Based Learning, Anuhea Awo-chan. Director of Economics and Business Resilience, Poni Askew. Interim Information Technology Manager, Kevin Chalk. Multimedia Designer, Josh Cole. Communication Strategist, Kelly Swallow. Interim Beneficiary Services Manager, Ilima Kella. Genealogy Ancestry Specialist, Lucy Meyer. Strategy Consultant, Parker Spencer. And Grants Officer, Ahia Dai. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
And your trustee, ladies and gentlemen, is the Honorable Mililani Trask.
Aloha. Aloha, everyone. I wanted to introduce my staff who is here. Where are you? Kau'i and Kalista are both from this island, are both from Oahu. And also I wanted to introduce Ilima, who is from Hilo too, who has done all the work for the last 5 months for me, you know. And also to thank all of the other OHA trustee aides that have come to work with us. A long day today to see YPO, but I'm so thankful that all had come, that we did not see Waipio as others in a postcard, but we went down to the ocean. We went all the way on four-wheel to stand beneath the falls itself, and then we went up further to be where the falls come over and crest. So a good way to bring people together, and thank you so much, mahalo staff, for doing this. Those kind of huaka'i remind us who we are and bring us back to the aina. So I'm very happy. I had hoped that Kai Kahele would be here. Oh wait, Kai, where are you? Kai, please. This is Trustee-elect Kai Kahele. He will represent Big Island, my dear friend, and I will be here to support him all the way. You know, I am so happy and thankful, and I say this now just because my time comes to go, but mahalo kia kua, that there is one such as Kai who comes to help. Aloha.
Next on the agenda is item 3, status of OHA activities. Lehua, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this agenda item? I'll turn the time over to Pohana.
Mahalo, Chair. Ikalomai, I wanted to also recognize Kealoha Piscata, our public policy advocate. I saw her earlier. I don't know if she's still here. If she is, wanted to say aloha. Okay, mahalo. All right, when you folks came in the door, you were given an agenda and also the Island Community Summary, so I'm hoping that you have that in front of you. But I'm just gonna highlight just a few things for you folks tonight. In terms of OHA funding activities for Hawaii Island, there are 37 current active grantees providing services on Hawaii Island, totaling $16 million awarded. 21 of the 37 active grantees are exclusive to Hawaii Island. There are 70 active Native Hawaiian revolving loan fund and consumer microloan programs, loans that we've provided to beneficiaries on Hawaii Island, totaling $1.7 million. And I wanted to highlight that the Office of Hawaiian Affairs remains committed to the protection, restoration, and repatriation of our iwi kupuna. Additionally, OHA's commitment to iwi kupuna lies with our kuleana of selecting nominees for the island burial councils across the state. Once applicants are vetted, OHA submits qualified nominees to the governor for his approval. Island representatives are selected from the Hawaiian communities based on their understanding of Native Hawaiian culture, history, burial beliefs, customs, and practices. On Tuesday, October 1st, OHA will be launching its updated application on our website to address current vacancies on each of the island burial councils by seeking qualified applicants for this critical role. Current vacancies on Hawaii Island include members representing Kona, Ka'u, Kohala, and 2 spots for landowners and/or developers. To learn more or to submit your name or someone you think is qualified for consideration, please go to www.oha.org/burial councils. Mahalo.
Thank you, Stacy. Our next item on the agenda is our community presentations. Our first presenter is Navai Ola Public Charter School. Lehua, do we have anyone testifying on this item? Mahalo. At this time, I'd like to call on Kapua Francisco, Po'okumu Director, Principal of Navai Ola Public Charter School.
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, trustees. Aloha, Kalahui, Hawaii. Mahalo. Welcome to Moku Okiawe. A little bit about myself first, so you know who you're speaking to and all the kupuna and aumakua that comes with me. I'm born and raised in Palolo, Oahu, in Francisco Ohana. My ohana, both sides come from Kohala, Honaunau. I'm here now with my ohana, the best decision I've made. I am a Kanaka. I'm married. I have 9 children. I'm the po'okumu of Navaiola Public Charter School. I am a kumuhula of Halau Namamo o Kaliko Maileo Kohala. I'll be flying to Kauai tomorrow morning for the Mokihana Festival. I will be entering. I'm a member of the Royal Order of Kamehameha Ekahi, a steward, a kia'i of the kingdom. Aloha. We're here to share about Navaiola Public Charter School and to let you know we are located in Mauna Hu'ihui in Ola'a, in the uplands of Puna. A little historical mo'olelo for you folks. We originally chartered as part of the charter school movement as Waters of Life, and in 2013, the governing board decided to change our name to Navaiola Public Charter School and to change the mission and vision to align to the needs of our demographics there in Upper Puna. Fast forward a little bit, when I was appointed as the po'okumu, we did have the focus of being a Hawaiian culture-based education school, but it was only in the mo'olelo and not in the action. So I accepted the kuleana on one condition, that we could truly become a Hawaiian education based public charter school. And I got the full support of the governing board, the community, and the school. Over time, our staff, our students, our families, the community, we collaborated, we talked about what Navaiola is. We as a people, we understand that vai is vai. It is life-sustaining. It is a resource that is necessary to preserve life and to create life. And that is the whole idea of Navaiola, to instill life into our keiki, our haumana, so that they become the leaders in the future. So over the last 5 years, we've been doing our educational program truly as a Hawaiian culture-based education school through a project-based learning approach. Our students, well, our teachers, we've pulled them away from being the sage on the stage. That is not where they belong. They now are the guides on the side, facilitating and allowing our keiki to drive their education. And so our whole purpose is to ensure that our students create a strong self-identity and connection, whether they're of Kanaka descent or not, with this place and our culture and our people. And so we do this through our project-based learning, which we focus on mahiai, or Hawaiian agricultural practices. And we are fortunate to have my staff here with me. We have the Hope Po'okumu, our Vice Principal, Kumu Akala Neves Chinchiria. We have our Office Manager, Kealani Figueroa. We have our Registrar, Nohelani Jabalana. We have our Kumu Olelo Hawaii, Kumu Mele Hawaii, Poki Isito, and our Kumu Mahiai, Kavika Lewis. So we do our projects, every grade level focuses on a project throughout the entire school year. Their projects are centered around the ahupua'a. We start in Uka for them to understand all of the resources that are available to us in Uka and how we can utilize them. We move down in second quarter to Kula, or the Midlands. Third quarter, we move down to the Kai level. And the fourth quarter, we combine all of it together and do our project presentations that have the entire ahupua'a, the systems that they understand all of the resources that come at each level of the ahupua'a. Our students in our demographics, we have a high poverty demographic. A lot of our students come from generational trauma. A lot of our students, we are the only at Kula is the only place they get loved. They get the hug. They get me'ai. They get to eat. We provide free breakfast and lunches to our students. We provide free transportation to and from school for our students. And we provide free transportation to all of their project days. Every day of the week, we have a couple of grade levels that goes off into project. They're either at Pauka'a at Aina University, or they're at our new campus in Ola'a, formerly known as the Hilo Coffee Mill. We've entered into a lease for 10 acres there. It's in its infancy right now. We're working on trying to get the special use permits to be able to operate our school there. However, we're able to do our Mahi'ai program in the meantime. So we start there. And so we've kind of adopted Kumukavika and the Louis Ohana's motto of grow, gather, grind. Yeah. On their project days, our students are no strangers to work. Yeah, as you can see from some of the pa'iki'i, they love to get dirty. Our keiki and puna, they're not scared of the mud or the rain or the pua'a. Some of you, friends with me, you saw we went go wrangle one pua'a out a day on campus. But that's our living here on Hawaii Island. And so they get real life experiences because, and life skills, yeah. We do have the Haumana address us as kumu, but we very much ohana, yeah. Anake, anakala, we scold them, we love on them, we educate them. They educate us. And that's how we do it here at Navaiola. So that's kind of what we're doing here. I'm going to ask Kumo Akala to share a little bit more of what we do on project-based learning.
Aloha mai kākou o Akala Neves Chinchilla ko inoa, no hilo mai au, no ke aukaha mai au, o Paul Neves ko makua kane, a o Wanda Neves kaikua ana, Neves no ka'u ko makua hine. Just wanted to introduce myself, Maka'olelo Hawaii. I'm a graduate of Ke Kula o Navahi o Kalani o Pu'u. Went through Punana Leo o Hilo all the way up to graduating from Navahi. It's so nice to see a lot of my kumu here and Anake Ilima, whose mama was Anake Pao. That's what we knew her as when we were in Punana Leo. Nice to see a lot of familiar faces. Auntie Leilani at the Ke Aloha. Some of you guys might be familiar with my dad, Kumu Paul Neves, longtime activist for Mauna Kea. And good friend of Auntie Mililani and her ohana from the early Kalahui Hawaii days. So he said, oh, Kalamai, I didn't know she was retiring. I would have postponed my Las Vegas trip. But he's turning 71 on Friday, and he's gonna surprise his hula sister in Vegas who's turning 80 on Saturday. So he said, give my aloha to Auntie Mililani, tell her I love her, and we gotta learn how to sometimes slow down. I know, my dad sometimes says that, he doesn't though. But we're very happy to be here. So continuing what Kumu Kapua said, I'm the Hopepo'o Kumu of Navaiola Public Charter School. And like Kumu Kapua said, we really focus on Mahi'ai, Aloha Aina, sustainability and food sovereignty. Because a lot of our ohana come from kind of, struggling financially. But we always teach our haumana, if the barge stops coming or the bread goes up to $20, we can still feed ourselves. We can still malama our ohana. And we want them to learn that what they learn in the classroom with academics can be applied to real life, that it's relevant to their lives here in Hawaii. Because our keiki don't learn like any other keiki. So instead of trying to fit them in a box and tell them that, oh, you guys are behind in academics and all that, like, ole, they just learn differently. So we're gonna cater to the way our people learn. And we wanna make sure that the keiki who are from families that do hunting and fishing and farming know that they can make a life out of that. That they don't have to all be put in a box and told this is the only way to be successful, because success is different for everybody. And like in a ahupua'a, Everybody has a kuleana and a role and an expertise. And as long as we all work together and we share our ike, we'll all be fine in our ahupua'a. So that's what we like to focus on with our keiki. We also want them to not just grow up to be prepared academically and prepared with life skills. We want them to be good people. Because this world, that's what we need, good people with a lot of aloha and a lot of humility and just willing to share with one another. So like Kumukapua said, we focus on project-based learning. And trustees, Kalamai, the screen is behind you. But lots of hands-on learning, yeah? So we give the academic curriculum to all our kumu. There's lesson plans, curriculum maps for all the core content, but the kumu are given the freedom to deliver the instruction the way they see fit. They modify the learning or the teaching for the haumana because there's no two students who learn alike. So a lot of our students learn better hands-on. A lot of our students, because of the area we're from or where they live, they learn better outside. A classroom doesn't have to be four walls. A classroom can be under a tree. It can be outside in nature. That's the best place to be educated. So our kumu are very big on, if it's a nice day, we're going outside. Our science lesson gonna be outside. We're gonna use kilo. We're gonna put our, our feet and our hands in the aina. So these are just some examples of like dissecting the ama crab in first grade, the students making their own kaula from some of the resources they harvested themselves, learning how to measure but using Hawaiian measurement with the arms, yeah? And so that's just some ways that some of our kumu have been more creative in teaching the academics to our haumana. So like Kumukapua said, all of the grade levels have a project that focuses on ahupua'a. So how is ahupua'a living relevant to sustainability in Hawaii today? We're trying to take a traditional method of life, of lifestyle, and fit it into today's world. Because sometimes the answers are from our kupuna. We just gotta look back and learn from what they did and what was successful with what they did and make it fit today. Because a lot of those values we have to bring back into our ohana, especially with these keiki who come from generational trauma. So each grade level focuses on the ahupua'a, like he said, uka kula kai, but they have a different part of the ahupua'a that they focus on. So for example, Papamala'o kindergarten, theirs is napua or flowers. So in the first quarter, they're focusing on the flowers of uka, then the flowers of kula, then the flowers of kai. How do the flowers grow? What can you do to, especially if it's native plants that are, in danger, what can we do to help preserve them? Papa ekahi, fruits and vegetables. Because the students learn about growing, gathering, and grinding, Kumu Kavika does a good job at doing a culinary arts part for the keiki. Because a lot of them say the only fruits they eat is gummies. So if you get them exposed to having them involved in learning how to grow their own food, they will actually try to eat healthier and make healthier choices. Because a lot of our kanaka, we're not all healthy. We suffer from a lot of different things. But if you educate the keiki now how to make better choices for their health, then they will. And just getting them involved in it, in the growing and the culinary arts part helps a lot. So this is them, planting some lo'i, kalo, uala, and Kumukavika's really creative in making some of our native foods like hors d'oeuvres and all these kind of gourmet looking things, yeah. And then Papa Elua, the topic is iniseka or insects. So what are the different ones that grow in the different parts of Ahupua'a? And the second graders actually made a cookie recipe with crickets. It was pulverized crickets that they made cookies out of. Hey, we tried it. It actually tastes like gingerbread. We never even know.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Papa Ekolu, theirs is about fish or water creatures. There's, the opai in Uka in the Kahavai or in the streams, and there's also the opai down by the Lokoi'a, even the limu that grows in the different parts and different kinds of vai that we find. And like we said, our keiki, they love to get muddy and dirty. Papa Eha, the plants that we can make crafts out of. Our Papa Eha, there was only one girl and all boys in that class, all made lauhala bracelets for their moms before Mary Monarch. It was so good, I thought they was gonna sell them at the craft fair. But they all made it themselves. They gathered the lauhala, they prepared it, and they made it themselves. Papa Elima is medicinal plants. So a lot of them learned how to make different kinds of medicines with the different parts of the plants. Some of them even combine plants to make different ointments that they could share with their ohana to take care of all kinds of different ailments, yeah. Papa Eono na manu, the different manu that you find in the different parts. They were able to go and see in the conservation, what was it called? Kiauho, yeah, the conservation for the manu. They were able to go to some huaka'i on that and research about the manu and what we can do to help, save them from extinction. And this year we just added secondary. So we have Papa Ihiku this year. Next year we'll have Papa Evalu, because in our demographic all we have is our school and an elementary school next to us, a DOE school, and then after that they have to go down the mountain a little bit to public school. And the parents want them to continue in charter school. So we have our Papa Ihiku this year. Their topic is structures, which are gonna focus on the va'a. So the different parts of the ahupua'a, what resources they can gather to make the va'a. And then that's our educational program. Like we said, there's a lot of the schools in the DOE that are theorizing. Should we do more agriculture? Should we add more Hawaiian cultural components? We're not gonna theorize, we're just gonna do it. Yeah, and the reason why we do it because we know, and the data shows academically and behaviorally, that it's best serving our keiki. And if the keiki are happy, they love school, even with the humble resources we have, that's the main thing. We don't want them to lose the love of learning. Because believe it or not, keikis don't really care too much about what we have, it's what we do with them and the time we spend with them. So that's our educational program. I'm gonna pass it on to our Kumu Olelo Hawaii and kind of have him share our vision for Olelo Hawaii in our school. Kumu Poki Isito.
Before we bring out Kumupoki, I just wanted to share in indigenous Hawaiian education, the language is the fiber that connects all things. We're not an immersion school, but we immerse our children in as many aspects of our culture. So, Kumupoki Isito.
I was going to say that. Hi, aloha kako.
Aloha.
Yeah. I'm Dr. Poki Isito, and I was given the kuleana to bring Olelo Hawaii to the campus at Navaiola. With all of these wonderful things that we're doing, with mahi'ai and teaching about the ahupua'a, that's half the battle. Yeah, project-based learning is half the battle. Like Po'okumu said, all of that can be strengthened with Olelo Hawaii, the component of Olelo Hawaii being a huge part of that. So I bring a specific philosophy of Olelo Hawaii to Navaiola that we're really going to try and incorporate. And it's the Olelo No'eo, Ayanoi Kamea e Meleana. And what that means is it's allowing the individual to think for themselves, to come up with their own thoughts, to express their thoughts in their own way. And the reason why this is our philosophy of Olelo Hawaii is it's not just the philosophy, but it's the goal as well. And here's why. If you take a look behind you under methodology, so these two terms that we have up there is mo'opalapala and mo'olelo. Now, mo'olelo is not a new term. It's a very, very old term that came about in the 1800s when they started actually writing books about Hawaii. Yeah, when the missionaries started putting thought to paper. And Mo'olelo was actually the first book written, co-written with David Malo. Yeah, and what they did was they went around and they collected all of these stories and put it into one book. Yeah, so you have Mo'olelo, which is the method of teaching which puts oracy at the forefront of knowledge acquisition. And then what you have is its counterpart, which is Mo'opalapala, which puts literacy at the forefront. Yeah. Now, The term literacy, yeah, we can all look at it and be like, that's such a great thing, literacy, yeah? A'ole. And here's why. When literacy was introduced to Hawaii in the 1800s, literacy, the act of putting thought to paper, is what took the indigeneity and the Hawaii out of the Kanaka. And it put it onto a piece of paper. And what did that do to it? It made it where we don't have to, now we don't have to internalize our own ike. Fast forward to today, yeah? We ask a keiki, oh, what is any kind of question? What is this, that, or the other? First thing they do, boom, this, yeah? Why? Because everything is so accessible here that it's not embedded here in the na'au, yeah? So what we're doing at Navaiola is we're truly trying to bring back this indigenous method of language teaching, which takes away the pala pala as the source of learning. And what do I mean by that? It means teaching straight from the textbook like this, because the ike is right there, using a piece of paper for an assessment tool where it's, I'm teaching Olelo and I'm going to assess you with a piece of paper, yeah? Translate these sentences so I can see how your Olelo works. That's a little bit off, yeah? So using Olelo as the main tool of knowledge acquisition is the method we're really trying to use here. So what does that look like at Navaiola, yeah? Like we said, the 4 walls of education, that in itself is an introduced method that was thrust upon Kanaka, yeah? Because it took away the natural landscape of a class and put us right here. And we intend to break those walls, yeah? We intend to break down those walls and get our kids back in the aina, yeah? We talked about how our kids not scared to get dirty, yeah? Just today, my son, he told me, oh, Dad, kalamai. He came back with all this huli, put him in the truck, and he was like, oh, Dad, kalamai, lepo ko ulima. Yeah, oh, my hands are dirty. My response right off the bat was, aohe pilikia o kalima I lepo I ka aina. No problem if your hand's dirty from the aina. That's a good sign. And that's what we're doing at Navaiola. With adding this strong component of Olelo Hawaii. So getting back to the philosophy, Ainoi Kamea Emeliana, giving them the tools to learn Olelo Hawaii in its holistic form. Not Olelo Hawaii that turns them into this robotic style of Olelo, aloha, pehea, oi, maika, iau, ovau, omea, ovai. That's textbook Hawaiian. Yeah. When in reality, the Hawaii of the Olelo is all of our haumana being able to talk about the manu o ma'o ouka. Ka'aina nani o ola'a. And that's how we know where you're from. When you have that internalized ike of your aina, of your place, of your ohana. Yeah? So it's us giving them the tools, the indigenous tools, to become better stewards of this aina through Olelo, through allowing them to think for themselves and express themselves as we should holistically and not textbook standardized Olelo. Okay, mahalo. The next kuleana that I was given was to start the transition of Navaiola from monolingual to bilingual. Yeah, because like we just said, we just opened up 7th grade, and 7th grade is where we have Olelo Hawaii. Yeah, but what we want to do is we want to start to introduce a second language to our haumana at an earlier stage in their educational development. Without trying to get too much into a TED talk over here, there's a lot of ike that proves that if a second language is introduced to a keiki, the way that their brains are, it doubles and triples the cognitive development. Yeah, and they're able to learn more, and they're able to take in more ike. Yeah, and what that does is it creates, it stops the barrier of left brain, right brain, and it just has, again, holistic, yeah? This holistic way of learning is how our kupuna learned, yeah, holistically. We didn't compartmentalize things so rigidly, but it was a holistic way of learning, so we knew what was all the way from uka all the way to kai and beyond, yeah? So what we've been doing, and again, this is still at the beginning stages, but we have been in contact and in talks with some of these people. The CABE is one of them, the California Association of Bilingual Education, and the Center for Applied Linguistics, to kind of help us get the ball rolling of how we can start to transition our place from monolingual, which is all English, to bilingual, yeah, where we introduce Olelo Hawaii and teach the kids both Hawaiian and English at the same time, so we can get smart Hawaiians. Mahalo.
Mahalo, Dr. Poki Isito. I'd like to introduce our Kumu Mahiai, Kumu Kavika Lues.
Hey, aloha everybody. Man, that's a hard act to follow. But I'm so glad to be standing here in front of all of you, especially the OHA board, you know, because honestly, I don't really get to know the faces and the names of everybody. And I know they're representing all of us. You know, I'm reading Empowering Hawaiians, Strengthening Hawaii. So it's kind of good to see all of you on our island right here in front of us. So mahalo for that. But yeah, so of course, my name is Kavika Lues. I live here with my ohana here in Hilo. But I'm out of all of these great things we're talking about, I feel like I'm the luckiest guy here because, you know, the belief Kumu Kapua and the school had in me to say, hey Kumu, Kavika, would you like to help us with, you know, all of our you know, agricultural mahi'ai aspects? And I was like, man, that sounds too good to be true. You know, I was like, because I love all of this. I've been doing it for a long time, and I feel that it's so important that all of our kids know this besides just curriculum. Because we can do the 1+1, we can Google anything we need to know, but we cannot learn from the uncles the straight responsibility and the respect that you need to work on the aina. Because growing kalo, cooking the kalo, making anything, that's extra. What we do teach at Navaiola is the life skills, because a lot of these kids are coming with the lack of life skills. They don't even know how to say please and thank you, or aloha and mahalo. So we got our work cut out for us. So we're working extra hard to educate our community, all the kids in our community, extra hard, because they're not coming with the tools that they should have already. So it does a lot to the Kumu and all of us to really take us away from the curriculum you kind of had set for the day, because sometimes an issue may come up and you got to do this. But through learning on outdoors, learning how to work hard, learning how to respect each other, learning how to be responsible, those are the foundational things that we need for them to learn about aloha aina, malama aina. I told them, no sense I teach you if you're not going to be nice to each other, you're not going to be respectful to all of us. We don't go there anymore. You know, we won't do that. But so it's so important that we mix and combine these two things, because I never thought I would be so happy working at a school with the least amount of resources. I don't think you folks would ever believe if you came and visited us. With the small things we have, but doing great movement that we're seeing right in front of our eyes. You know, you can almost look at us almost like the lost children of Hawaii. You know, because we're in this corner that nobody knows about, but yet making our greatest, you know, impact on their lives. And that's what we're doing. We empowering Hawaiians and we strengthening Hawaii. So we oha too. You know, we owe her too, because that's what I feel like I'm doing. You know, I'm teaching the kids how to empower themselves, how to be respectful. And I don't want them working on their graduate diploma. I'm trying to create them so they be great people in this community and share things when they're adults, not when they're kids. I want them to share great things and give back to the community. But it starts here. So I'm hoping that you know, people will read up on the Viola, check us out on Instagram, and you know, really try to see if you can look at what we're doing, because I feel like we're revolutionizing the way we teach the future of Hawaii. Because we all can see the news today. There's war going on, there's fuel shortage, there's this, there's that. How are we going to empower Hawaiians if we all crying in front of Safeway and Foodland? Because we cannot eat. We already been doing all of this for hundreds and hundreds of years, being sustainable. We're not trying to do anything that we don't know. We're just trying to bring it back to the surface. It's been hidden below too long. So that's what I'm here at Navaiola for. And just a little plug, you know, I also have my own organization called Aina University, and you can see that on Instagram as well. You know, and we're trying our damnedest to share what we feel the future should know. And what they should know is that the outdoors, equal with the indoor learning, is the tools you need to survive in Hawaii. It's not even about us already as adults. We're going to be gone when all the terror hits. So it's now that we need to show them, for them to survive, for their kids to survive Hawaii, to empower them, to strengthen Hawaii. We show them how to do what our kupuna and ancestors did for many years already. It's no, we're not reinventing the wheel. We're just spinning that baby again. Aloha.
So I just want to, in closing, say mahalo nui for having us here. I think we kind of made the message clear. We're decolonizing education on Mokuokiave, right up in Ola'a. Mahalo.
Po'okumu, we have a question.
First of all, I want to say mahalo nui for all that you folks are doing for uplifting our community through our keiki. It's so powerful learning of your curriculum. This is something I wish I had had growing up, to be able to work with the a'ama crab versus a frog. Yeah. So my question is, how can we at Ohakokua, how can we collaborate with you?
Great question. We do all of the things we do with the very limited funding we get from the state per pupil. And I'm sure you folks know it's inequitable compared to what the Department of Education schools get, which I have been flabbergasted about, because we're serving the same children, the children of Hawaii. So I don't understand. So we do it with the per pupil funding, and then also because we are a Title I school, because of our demographics, I get very creative in the way I write the budget. I'm pretty crafty. I was a bank manager for 10 years before I became education. So the help that we could get from OHA, of course, is no secret. You know, we have 10 acres that we need to develop. We have 10 acres that we need to create a school, which we plan to apply with the Hawaii State Public Charter School to have a pre-K through 12th grade program. We want to bring in the need for early childhood education in our community is huge. It is huge. And then just exposing them to this kind of learning. And like you said, I wish I had it when I was growing up. I can tell you my educational journey was horrible. I mean, I had teachers tell me I would never amount to nothing. I'd love to see them today. Come and see what I've accomplished without you. But just being an advocate for what we are doing with our keiki, just being a supporter, where they're collaborating, yeah? We'd love to have you folks come and experience a day in the life of Navaiola. We'd love to have you come and experience a day in the life at Aina University to see and to be able to walk in the shoes of our students. And, you know, we're, like we've shared, we're doing it with the minimal resources we have, because if we continue to wait for education to catch up, we're going to fail these kids. I get choked kids. I got to make sure they're going to be taken care of. A lot of my kids go to Navahio Kalanio Pu'u. Some of them come to Navaiola. But I get choked kids. So I get huge kuleana for them. So each of these kids are mine. And we've tripled in size just through word of mouth, just through people coming to see what we do. We do ask people to come in for a school tour when they express interest in enrolling in our school, because we want them to know it's very different. Yeah, we are a Hawaiian culture-based education school. That means physical work, that means academic work, that means spiritual work. You know, we don't impose any higher being, but there is spirituality in everything we do. And to understand whether you're honoring your kopuna, your amakua, akua, whatever it is, there is a higher being. And so we make it very real for them to understand. And you know, we get that partnership with the ohana. We also don't have a very strict discipline plan. We come from a restorative, cultural approach when we have behavioral problems. A lot of the kids that come through our schools have been labeled at regular Department of Education schools. And so they already have this stigma of being, oh, I'm bad, I'm naughty, I don't belong here. But, you know, once we teach them, yeah, the process of mihi, the process of being accountable to your actions, the understanding that you can apologize sincerely, and the understanding that you learn from that mistake and don't make it again. You know, we do not try to suspend them, because a lot of them, if they get suspended, they're going to get lickings at home, or they're just going to be left in the bedroom to play games or whatever it is. So we take that approach, and really our school is just about action rather than words. You know, we're not out there saying, look at us, this is what we're doing. We just do. Our kids entered the Naleo Media Challenge last year, and it was they had to choose community issues that affected our communities, and they won 5 out of the 6 categories. People were sitting in that place going, who is this school? We don't have a video camera. Well, we didn't have a video camera. They did it on their Kumus Kelepona telephone. They made their own props. We had one student make a video using Legos, so he took 467 pictures and created the movie with the phone. But they won 5 out of 6 categories. You know, so the kids are thriving academically, behaviorally, emotionally, socially. They're learning how to be human beings. And so what OHA can do for us is support that, be advocates of that. It wouldn't hurt to help fund our new campus either.
Hey,
Mahalo.
Kapua, mahalo for everything you're doing, bro, and your team. Who's the lease with? The 10 acres you guys are trying to develop.
It's a agricultural investor. So their organization is known as the Big Ka'u LLC. They're coffee farmers. They're originally from Montana, but they love what we're doing as far as the agricultural component, which is the reason they bought the property so that we could lease it, because the previous owners wouldn't lease it for us, to us.
Okay, mahalo, bro. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Go ahead.
I have a question. Thank you. Thank you for what you folks are doing. It's quite impressive. I think we have questions at the 30,000-foot level and the ground game. Yeah. So I would like to ask you to give the board examples of real-life career pathways using this type of education in the areas of law, in the areas of politics, in the areas of medicine, and obviously in the areas of agriculture. I would like to try and make a connection towards this type of education as it relates to real life situations. Can you
Sure.
share?
Of course, because we're talking about holistic education, yeah? Understanding kuleana, understanding responsibility, knowing how to be leaders. Talking about our students being able to think and develop their own thought process on becoming critical thinkers, becoming problem solvers. So what the students are learning through our educational program can be applied to any career path, yeah? They're learning how to speak, public speaking. They're learning how to farm so they can feed their family. They can create new ways of farming. They can create new ways of education. They can, they know how to utilize resources from their area, yeah, from Uka, from Kula, from Kai. They also know the importance of relationship, how you interact with people, how you speak to people. And they know that no matter what they choose to do and how they choose to do it, if they are doing it from their na'au and being pono in the way that they apply themselves and the approach that they take in any situation, it can be applied to any career path. They want to be a mechanic, we need mechanics. I cannot fix my own car. They want to be a pilot, they can be pilots because they understand it takes work. Yeah, it takes study. It takes analytical, critical thinking. They want to be doctors. They can become doctors. They have experience with creating their own medicines through the La'au Lapa'au project that we provide. And so, really, there is no limitation to what our students will have the ability of doing when it comes to career path, when it comes to whatever it is, they'll have that. We had our 5th and 6th grade, create their final projects last school year. And it was it of course incorporated cultural mo'olelo. But we really got to see through their performance the different talents that the kids had. We had one student that played a lawyer and was able to debate, and they created the script and they was able to debate. So up and coming attorneys, they understand the issues that we face as Kanaka, the issues that we face here on Hawaii Island, the issues that we face globally. They know those things because we share it. We don't sugarcoat things. We also don't how do you say in a nice way? We don't teach them with blinders. This is U.S. history. You want to know the real history? It's not that great. But through our educational program, we're providing them with resources on how to learn, how to apply themselves, and how to come up with their own opinions and own ideas of what is important. Yeah? And what we need to do to provide for our families, our communities, and globally. So there's no limitation.
Mahalo. Mahalo po Kumu and all your gang over there. Mahalo for the presentation, letting us know how well you folks doing, and mahalo for all the hard work. So all of our community meetings in Honolulu as well as the neighbor islands, we invite our people to come and share their community concerns. And we do have several people that have signed up tonight to speak. So I'm going to call you in the order that you signed up. And if you could consider taking about 5 minutes to share your thoughts with us, we would really appreciate that. So at this time, I would like to call on Shelley Pahinui. Shell? Yeah. Shell lives in Kona, so we appreciate her driving all the way out here to share her thoughts with us.
Aloha.
Aloha.
I came over to share about the Aloha Shirt
Could you talk closer to the mic?
I came over to share about the Aloha Shirt Festival, vintage exhibit, and mentorship program. So the program actually began with Uncle George Naope, who I worked with for 17 years in Kona. And it was a program for, we did a couple of programs. One was called the Hawaiian Music Masters Youth Outreach and Community Investment, which ended up becoming our teaching in the schools. We teach music from our Hawaiian Music Masters. Name them, they've taught with us. We helped develop the Windward Community College program that gives us 2 scholarships every year that we give out at the Waimanalo Kanikapila. We're now in our, excuse me, 18th year of producing that event, and it's 100 people who come out to the musicians come out to gather together. It's not a concert. It's really about musicians connecting in Brickwood. You've been there? We also honor Skylark Rossetti from this community with the Broadcasters Award each year to honor those broadcasters that help. As Cyril would say when he was a child, you can't speak in Hawaiian, but you can sing in Hawaiian. And so they learned their language through the music. In fact, when he would teach at Olelo schools, he would have to be shamed that he could not Olelo with the children. Because he could sing so well in Hawaiian, they thought he could speak. The program also was taken into a kind of a Circle Island activities that Uncle George wanted to do that went to the Mele Vaipana. So going to the site of the song and then learning the music at the site so that you bring the site to life. So, he hua ka'i e pana na ike ea. Let the site come to life through your music and your dance. We also went to Waipio Valley, hiked to the waterfall, and we have a videotape of Cyril singing to the waterfall. At the time, I was living in Kona at Ka'analoa, across from where the outrigger currently is. And right next to that is Hei'ia Beach. Many, many days he spent singing to the beach. So this program brings music to children, and we have hundreds of children that have letters from parents on the mentorship aspects of the Olakalama in the school, just like the previous people talking about, the connection with that mentorship is really critical with learning. So we developed also this event called the Aloha Shirt Festival. Uncle George had the idea to save the wearable arts. So we wrote grants for Auntie Elizabeth Lee, who put together the weaving workshop, which is now currently at the Outrigger. This is our 3rd year there. And these are bracelets that I made at the workshops that we do at our festival. And we teach the traditional wearable arts. We have a 2-day event that features, in the Georgian Ope style, the kahiko, the awana. So we have the opening, which is always traditional, and the costuming, the clothing, traditional. Last year we did Rick San Nicolas, 17 capes, Brandy G singing Mauna on the runway. Then we've also, after that, do reuse, renew, recycle, looking at sustainability in the clothing industry, and vintage. So we honor many Hawaiian designers. This year, Nakeo Aoi is our featured designer. He is the longest producing designer in Hawaii. So the second night is contemporary, and I don't know how many of you went to the recent Hawaiian convention where they featured 3 of the top designers from this island, Aloha Victor, Sig Zane, and Manaola. And last year we also featured Maika Kamohoali'i. So we believe fashion used to be the 3rd largest industry in Hawaii. We believe we can bring it back, and we believe we can bring it back through what they call micro factory, which has like laser cutting and things like this. You can do like a cooperative situation. Most designers can't purchase that type of equipment. It's out of hand. But to be able to do it through a nonprofit and build a micro factory where we can actually expand this area of wearable arts production, and then again featuring also our traditional wearable arts. So one of the things that is really critical for us is being able to bring in top musicians. We have a stylist showrunner who is trained all over the world and in Hollywood, and has been doing that for many years, Hawaiian. And they all are teaching right now for free to keep the mentorship going. We did submit a grant for the mentorship program through the OHA. It, at this point, was not funded. The concept we had was to have this gathering, again, very similar to our Waimanalo Kanikapila, where we bring all of the different components of the theater arts together, and they intermingle and share with each other. We've found, and I guess, again, some of you can testify to this, the connection that happens when you're there together, playing music. You share a certain type of aloha beyond just people gathering when you interact with music. And so what we're looking for is to be able to bring in this year the moon ceremony. We're honoring Hina, which is the goddess, of course, of the kapa making. And all of these things cost a lot of money. And we always go to the OHA workshops for the grants. They tell us, please pay the practitioners. I have about 15 practitioners, about 200 youth who have been training from this last week modeling. We've done runway modeling training around the entire island. We work with the Hilo media program at the high school. We collaborate with them, and we were able to produce a video from last year that was featured now on Hawaiian Airlines. The kids did everything from collecting the material. We taught them how to research at the archive, how to get olo olo, the video, like vintage video that they could intermix in their production. So we just need support, and we, again, did not get funded. And so I have people who are continuing their mentorship, continuing their training, but at the same time, our event is this next weekend, and we're just on critical with it, and I really don't want those Hawaiians masters at what they do in the arts to go uncompensated. So we're here to request that OHA possibly sponsor our event or somehow come in. And we sincerely appreciate OHA, who has always supported the Waimanalo Kanikapila. It's a free event. We bring it to the community. We are not allowed to sell things in the public park except for our t-shirts, which is the only related to the event, and the food, which is done by the Canoe Club, again, collaboration, so that we raise money for the kids to be able to paddle Waimanalo Canoe Club. They raise their money at our festival. They are the security, they are the parking, they are the food producers. So that's why I'm here. And I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, Shell. Thank you. Hans Mortensen from Keaukaha Community Association.
Thank you for giving me a few minutes. Aloha. My name is Hans Mortensen. A little background about me. I was born on Oahu, and as a child, I was raised in Kahana Valley. In the early 70s, my parents moved to Hilo because they got a lease from the Department of Hawaiian Homelands in Keaukaha. So I was raised in Keaukaha. I attended Keaukaha Elementary School, Hilo Intermediate, Hilo High School. I attended BYU Hawaii. I met my wife, Lorraine. We have our children and grandchildren that we live with here back home in Keaukaha. I'm a proud product of Keaukaha, and I'm a member of the Royal Order of Kamehameha, a board member of the Keaukaha Community Association, and a member of the Centennial Celebration Committee. The community of Keaukaha was established in 1924. It was initially called the Kohio Settlement. It was the second homestead project in the state after Kalamaula on Molokai. Our Prince Jono Kohio loved his people and had a vision for his Hawaiian people. So the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act with Kamalaula and Keaukaha showed the importance of acquiring land for the purpose of enabling Native Hawaiians to return to their lands in order to fully support self-sufficiency, self-determination, and the preservation of values, traditions, and culture of Native Hawaiians. This year, Keaukaha is proud to celebrate its 100 years of existence as a community. The need to connect with the land, to practice culture and lifestyle still applies today. Our Centennial Celebration Committee thought of how are we going to celebrate our past, our present, and our future. So we normally we're just going to have a big party, one party to celebrate. But if you bear with me, some of the 7 events that we've had so far in Keaukaha. On Kuhio Day, celebration held at this past March in Kulapai. This is in Keaukaha, Hawaiian Homes on the Beach, Puhi Bay area. La Pili Ohana, this Kupuna Talk Story, Moku Auhau held at Malia Pukaokalani Church, camping at the Keaukaha Beach Park, Ho'olaulea, and the Battle of the Streets for our community. These are big events for us. Next month, October, we have Kupuna Day, where community service agencies for Kupuna can interact with families to help their Kupuna navigate needed resources. Also in October, each weekend, we will have a huakai featuring Vahipana along the homestead shoreline, Palikai, Puhi, Kulapai, and Awili. Our culminating celebration event will be a 100-year birthday celebration to be held on December 16th, 2024, at the center of our community, Hualani Park, next to the Keaukaha Gym. We are busily planning for this event. Thank you for allowing me to share what has been happening in Keauka'a. I'm here to ask for your support in this late hour for our event. I also want to close in behalf of our schools, our groups, the different organizations in Keauka'a. Mahalo nui loa to OHA for your support over all these years. We look forward to another 100 years working together for our Hawaiian community. Mahalo nui. Thank you.
Mahalo, Hans. Mahalo nui. Uilani Naipo.
Ano ai me ke aloha ya kākoa pau, and welcome to Hilo, to Panaewa. Actually, I live here in Panaewa, but I've been before you before, so you know that my community I represent is Miloli'i, South Kona. I have to start this first with a mahalo nui to Auntie Mililani Trask. Mahalo for all your work you do for the Lahui. And I know for a fact, because I'm retired, that you're going to be more busy when you retire again, and that everybody knows how to contact you, so good luck with that, trying to slow down. I want to mahalo Girlie. I found out her nickname is Girlie, but she gave a great papa mo'okua hau I Kapone, and that was just fabulous. I'm still on a high from that. I'm waiting for the next class. And must mahalo you for Kawaiʻola in your newsletter. In June, you ran 3 series of articles pertaining to our waters. You know, one was written about giving percentage to our whales. You had one for Uncle Saul, Kaho'ohalahala, about deep sea mining and the issue about that. And then there was another one that I authored with Charlie Young. And that was about exploitation of our Hawaiian reef fish. I'm very happy, and I signed up for testimony, but I'm very happy to see it on this list. It's number 2 on the page that says current opportunities and challenges. And I just want to drop some statistics to everyone else to put it into perspective how important this is. Now, when we did our Miloli'i CBSFA, you supported us by giving us a resolution to support determining and putting together a marine management plan. You then came back out and we shared what was the progress. Now that we have that, it's no longer just about Miloli'i. Our story we tell in South Kona spans the whole West Hawaii about this issue. Now the EIS that was submitted by collectors in its preferred alternative is talking about taking 200,000 lau'i pala off of our reefs only in West Hawaii, puts it into the pet industry at a total of $33 million on the low end, and we get nothing. Hawaii gets nothing. Our community that they take these reef fish off of gets nothing. And it's only for 7 collectors. This is big. This needs to stop. This has been going on for the life of how long I've been on this earth. It's been that long of an industry. And this cannot stop for the next generation to fix. So as bold as I was to write that article, as bold as I am to stand in front of BLNR to demand their help, as bold as I am to be in legislators' offices, I need you to do the same. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for money. I'm just asking you to support this initiative like you've already committed to it, and thank you so much. But that's what I'm asking for your support. I have one small request also. Goes off subject, but it's going to go to Kai Kahele. Because the front and center narrative that our keiki learned to find their voice is all about storytelling. It's all about storytelling, and we assert a lot of our rights in traditional and customary practices based on storytelling. Tutu Mona, in her book, wrote all those treasure stories. It is out of print, and we need it back in the hands for every keiki in South Kona. That's the request. But to all of you, thank you so much for hearing this, and I extend my mahalo for all of your support, and Auntie Mililani again. I know we'll keep in touch.
Mahalo Uilani. Calling on Yokepa Kaeo Kaululu.
Aloha, Oha board, and mahalo to Auntie Mililani for her services. I don't know how we're gonna replace any much more of a fighter than you, and we're gonna go uphill, and it's gonna be a steep one these coming years. But I'm not up here to request or ask for money or financial support. Issue at hand is the crowning government lands of the Hawaiian Kingdom. I believe that we are in full mode identity crisis. We have torn community members, over 50% issues over not being qualified to be 50%ers. And so, as I was looking at you guys' agenda, you guys had this about the DOT and the Mauna Kea access road. It's really hard for our community to stand aside and watch departments within the state of Hawaii continue to lie and conspire against the beneficiaries and the heirs of Moko Keawe by so arrogantly lying to the community and lying to the beneficiaries of who owns these roads. In the Kumukana Vai, from our kupuna, the crowning government lands are inalienable to be sold, purchased, or pimped out. And here we are in 2024 discussing these issues. It's really dumbfounding. We have DHHL on the side trying to develop geothermal along the access road. We have countless Hawaiians who are houseless, who don't even have access to these so-called trust lands that have been pimped out. And when I read all of these things out of the multitude of issues that we have, I truly believe that standing here, I think we have to ask if we could get some assistance with your guys' legal premier that you guys helped develop with Kahuli A'o for your Iwi Kuamo'os, for your Vai, and for your quiet title land issues that we are facing. I think holding genealogy classes along with the premiers, with the primers, I think this is a great step to putting our keiki in the right position to make critical decisions that we're going to have to make real soon by being priced out. Our lands are being developed for other foreigners to have housing, but yet we can't even fulfill our fiduciary duties as a trust, or even just as a legal body, which is the main issue that I believe as a Makua now, to see and watch how the state conducts themselves against Native Hawaiians, against heirs to these lands, these crowning government lands. And I don't think there's an amount of money that can be tagged to this conversation that we can seek to put justice in the right space and to put our morals above a corrupt judicial process. So I just stand here before you guys, Oha, to just ask, maybe this year when Kai gets in, Brother Kai gets in, gonna make it a point to be there once or twice a day to try and motivate, try to shine some light on the issues that I think we have to focus on. I think our Kanawai will always protect us, will always provide for us, but there's going to have to be one time in our life that we have to stand up for our Kanawai. And I think with the watchdogs out in Oha, I think this is a prime example. I think this is where we need more advocacy. I think we need more community support within these tough conversations, because it is very prideful when we talk about 100 years of Hawaiian homestead. It's very prideful when we discuss the legacies, but we have to be brutally honest with the results that we're seeing right now. If we're not honest and we're not focused on the task at hand, I think just like how they're describing with the Kula, decolonizing education, I think that's a wonderful start. I think that's where we should be supporting, and I believe that all the education components that go into those curriculum is very key. And I think this OHA, this year, 2024, I know that there's going to be more land occupations. I know that there's going to be more assertive action towards the heirs and beneficiaries throughout Kohova Ipai Aina, but mostly Mokuoke'awe. And I just, hopefully one day, this year, 2025, as we come into a new cabinet, new regime, we just want to have the opportunity to have the right tools to empower our community and our family members to make the right decisions from 2024 and on. This government has shown its colors, and if we don't heed the message of what we're seeing and experiencing, then there'll be a really, really tough battle for our kids. But outside of that, mahalo for you guys' time, and looking forward to working with you guys this coming year. Mahalo.
Mahalo kia kepa. Love your passion. Mahalo. Trustee Kana?
You know what they say, the best comes last. Right? Hey, Brooke. Anyway. I shut off the mic. Now we're going to break. Anyway, I came tonight to say mahalo and aloha to my dear friend, Mililani Trask. Millie and I have been friends for many years, and it really started way back. I'm sad to see that Malama has left, but back in the day when Malama was in the Senate, the legislature passed a bill that it was called the legislative answer to sovereignty, or something like that. What it was a call together of all the sovereignty groups at the time to come together and give a report to the legislature on what sovereignty was. And so Millie, of course, was head of Kalahui at the time, and Kalahui, I must say, was the only sovereignty group that ever emerged that had a constitution and that was recognized by everyone. Kekuni Blaisdell was part of this group. All of these different organizations were mentioned in this special legislation. And so these individuals made up this board. And of course, that's when I first met Millie, was when we served on the board together. And what I learned early on about Millie Lunny was that she definitely had her opinions, and she was very, you know, get out of my way, here I come. And what I really liked about her was the fact that if you could convince her that you had a good story or that she could see some merit to it, she would say, okay. And, you know, to me, that is the way that strong personalities can get along, especially on a board like this, with everybody is diverse, you come from different backgrounds, you know, everything is different. But when you meet up with a personality that's strong, you know, if you are confident in yourself and in what you believe, then that other person will have respect for you. And that was the difference between Millie and I. Even though we had disagreements, when we walk away from the table, we didn't take it personal and go after each other. It's silly. It's not, it's juvenile. It is not, you're not in the playground with grown-ups. And to me, that is the difference between having a good board and a board that sucks, where nobody gets along because everybody's taking things personally. When they leave the table, they should leave everything at the table and not take it with them. Because when you take it with them, big trouble. Then everybody starts taking sides, and next thing you know, this one ain't talking to that one, then the staff don't talk to this one, and it's a mess. But I didn't come to talk about that. You all know that. You've been OHA trustees, right? But I wanted to say that way back when, even before I knew Millie, President Reagan appointed Millie to a task force. You remember that? Way back when, for DHHL. And on this task force, they were to gather information so that they could make recommendations about how much the federal government owed the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. Millie Lunny she's not only a lawyer, she's a good lawyer, she's a thinker. And I told her years ago, you're gonna run out of gas, because she was like a repeating rifle. When you talk to Millie, it's you know, one subject she's on over here, next time, you know, she's over there on another subject, and it's hard to keep up with her. But, you know, that brain goes 24/7. So I come tonight to honor her and to thank her for her contributions to our people. I have not known anyone in our Hawaiian community, man or woman, who have given their lives to Hawaiian causes like Millie Lunny Trask has done. And I want to say that it isn't just the causes, but she's responsible for the Native Hawaiian Health Act, the Native Hawaiian Education Act, that brings millions of dollars into the state of Hawaii. Who does this? Who does this? Do you know that she traveled for over a year with Mother Teresa? Do you know she sat outside the Vatican waiting for the Pope to see Mother Teresa, because Mother Teresa didn't have an appointment? But that old lady had gumption, and so does Millie. She doesn't give up. This is the kind of person that Millie Lunny Trask is. And I wouldn't leave without honoring this person for the good things and the wonderful things she has done, despite the fact that she can be hard-headed. I know that. Yeah, Millie. Sometimes she don't talk to me. She don't talk to me. But that's okay. That's okay. I served, sorry, I served on a National Indian Board for 15 years. And Billy Lunny is well known in Indian country, all over the US. And James Anaya is one of your friends. He's a professor at a law school. Is it Arizona? Arizona, right? I brought him here once and several other people to discuss sovereignty. And somewhere I have all these wonderful tapes about different models of sovereignty, and one day we should all explore it, because OHA does sit on the cusp of something very great. And maybe with Kai Kahele and the new board, we can think about this, because what's transpired over time is that when certain trustees leave office, they take their files or they shred them. And when the Akaka bill did not pass the Senate, I was lobbying in Congress during that time. And when the Obama administration came in, President Obama wanted to help because the Senate would hold on to the bill and they couldn't pass. One senator would hold it, then another senator would hold it, and it just kept going round and round. So Obama wanted to help. So he held hearings all over the US with Indian tribes to see if there was any opposition to the Hawaiians being admitted through the Department of Interior, the way the American Indians get indoctrinated. The Hawaiians were going through a Senate bill, but that was becoming too difficult. So Obama came up with this idea. And so we went through these series of hearings all over the US, and what the end result was the Indian nations supported the Hawaiians using the Department of Interior as an entrance way to gain sovereignty. Now, I challenge you, board members, because it's on your doorstep. OHA has to fund the way. We had a Republican president. We had no place to go. We couldn't bring it up. But I think if we get a Democratic president, if Harris gets in, we have a chance. And we should not lose that opportunity to bring back this effort, because in the Clinton administration, from Mauka to Mackay, the study, Millie has a copy of it, the Interior and the Justice Department came down with a recommendation saying that the United States needs to reconcile with the Hawaiian people. To this day, that has not occurred. But through the Obama administration, there is a way through Interior. So I challenge you that you need to pick up the ball and don't leave it behind. Like Kamala Harris is saying, we're not going backwards, we're going forwards. And every year after an election, when you had those ceremonies to greet the new trustees, it was a tradition that we had a speaker who would challenge the board, challenge you to do things that are incredible, maybe difficult, but not impossible. And so I am challenging you people. And you, Kai Kahele, the new one, I look forward to seeing what you're gonna do. And for you guys, remember that Mililani Trask is a diamond that we won't see again maybe for many, many generations. So to you, my friend, I say aloha, and God bless you and your ohana. God bless the board. Aloha.
Mahalo, trustee. Calling on Kini Ka'ava.
Aloha nui kākou. O wau ho'i keia o Kini Ka'ava, o Michael Ka'ava ko umakua kane, o Makalapuak, Alan Castor ko umakua hine, No kailua o ahu au, noho wau I waikahe puna I keia manawa. E kala mai ia'u, I was not prepared. I did not know that this was happening tonight. I came to dance Tahitian. We have this Tahitian group, and I don't know if you guys heard us outside. And when I walked in the doors, I was like, "Ay, look all these people, what's going on?" I haven't been to an OHA meeting in about 5 years. I have my pepe over there. She's like, "Mom, I have kula apopo." I said, okay, we go hele. But the last time I came to an OHA meeting, she was just a pepe. So I was asked by some of your staff, "You like say something and testify?" I was like, "I don't know, what are you guys talking about?" So then after looking through your agenda and reading through your community report, I was like, I have something to say about all of this. And so community concerns. I'm a homeowner. I'm a single mom of 6 keiki. I went through the system that the state of Hawaii provides us. I puka from Anuenue. I got my bachelor's and my teaching certificate and my master's from Kakaula o Ke'eliko Lani. I'm a public school teacher of Kumu, Hawaii. A'owa I ka papa olelo Hawaii, papa hula me ka papa hana no'eau Hawaii. And I'm struggling. I'm struggling to keep up with my house, my mortgage. People are moving in and developing, which means my taxes are going up $250 every year. And if it continues, you know, what do I do? And we are strong, hardworking people. Yeah, so, you know, we find multiple sources of income to support our lifestyle. And just, you know, a simple home. Yeah, I moved from Kailua Oahu to Puna because it was affordable. And now it's not so affordable, okay? And so the home next to me sold for double the amount that I paid for my home. And it's only going up. I applied for a loan under OHA several years ago. I didn't qualify. And even if I did, I no more extra money to pay another loan. Yeah, so we need some kind of kokua. We need some kind of kokua with that, because if it continues, then what? Then what do we do? In HPP or Waikahekahe, you know, we see, well, I observe that in the Kula section, we have a lot of Ohana Hawaii moving from different islands because it's more affordable. And then down by the beach lots, you see Oni Po'e Hawaii Ole. Yeah, they're enjoying their life, walking the dog, going on walks. And where's my people? Where's our people? They're hustling at work, trying to just make ends meet. Something's wrong there. Something's wrong there. I have a hoa, a deer hoa, who is part of an Indian tribe in Washington. And every month, she is given an allowance for housing. And we had this conversation, and I'm like, Awe, what about us? I don't have that kind of kokua. We don't have that kind of kokua. So I don't know what OHA has to offer. And if you do have something to offer to kokua people like me, then I'm not aware of it, which means we don't know about it. Now, that's your kuleana, my kuleana. Okay, number 2, education. Yeah, very maikai that students are able to go to Kulakaiapuni and Hawaiian charter schools and be afforded that kind of education. But the majority of our Native Hawaiian students are in the DOE public schools, and it is a system that is founded on racism, and it continues till today. I see it every single day. Our Native Hawaiian students are put into all of these special kolohe keiki programs. When things happen, boom, call the police, have them arrested. Parents come, boom, have the parents arrested. I mean, it's like this systematic thing. And Hawaiian monies are going to non-Hawaiian staff, are getting selected above Hawaiian qualified staff. Okay, so I know you have an educational component, so we need to do better with that. Okay, oh, time's up. last thing. I mean, I get plenty to say about all of this, but one more thing. I want to encourage you to spend the time and your resources to Olelo Hawaii. Olelo Hawaii in your daily business. Learn, speak it, use it. In the schools, we do this thing called PICO, our opening and closing protocols that is embedded in Olelo, Mele, Pule, things that unify us, things that remind us of who we are and where we come from and what we honor. And I'm not sure if you guys do that or not, and if you do, may ka'iloa. But I want to hear more Olelo Hawaii from our po'e. Yeah, because data shows that that's what guides our thoughts and our actions. And if that's what we're teaching our keiki, then I hope we all can all jump on that train. And oia valeno, mahalo nui.
Mahalo. Calling Kale Mau'u. Kale. Maybe she went home. Kai Kahele, I know you didn't sign up, but I think you wanted to say something.
Oh, wow. Put him on the spot.
Aloha, ahi kako. Wasn't planning to provide any remarks, Chair, but mahalo for having this meeting, and I want to mahalo Chair Lindsay and all of our trustees who, took the time this evening to hear the concerns from our Moko Keawe community. Took the time to go down to Waipio today. What a beautiful, special place, and just giving us the opportunity to share our mana'o, with all of you. I'd be remiss if I didn't have an opportunity to also thank Trustee Mililani Trask, and just convey my deepest mahalo for your service as our Moko Keawe and Hawaii Island trustee for the last 3 years, and everything that you've done for our people. I echo the comments of my former colleague in the State Senate, Brickwood Galataria, and everything that everyone has said really encapsulates your contributions to our people. I think first and foremost, your willingness to step up and serve as our Hawaii Island trustee when the seat was vacated is a testament to your commitment to our people and your dedication and steadfast support for our Hawaiian community. Obviously it wasn't the first time that you've served as a trustee, and you've been here before. And I think there are very, very many things that you can be proud of, and that all of Hawaii can be proud of in your contributions to our people. One thing that was not mentioned is Trustee Trask, spent a significant amount of time on the international and global stage at the United Nations. Spent many, many years, if I'm not mistaken, over 15 years, helping to draft and co-author the UN DRIP, right? The United Nations on Indigenous Peoples that the UN adopted in 2007. And so that has made such a significant impact in the lives of Indigenous peoples globally. For me personally, in addition to her relentless pursuit for accountability and transparency regarding the Ceded Lands Trust and having an accurate inventory of our trust assets, which I will note the state of Hawaii has not done up until this point, and it's something that is very important for this board and for OHA to continue to pursue. For me personally, her impactful leadership decades ago as the leader of Kalahui Hawaii is something that I remember. I had just graduated from Hilo High School in 1992. I was a freshman at Hilo Community College on January 17th, 1993, when the Onipa'a March happened. Unfortunately, I was not there on Oahu, but I remember the coverage. I remember the speeches. I remember the movement, the over 20,000 people that gathered on that day. And the important conversations about self-determination, about self-governance, about our fight for economic and social and racial and political justice was something that I remembered as an 18-year-old Kanaka, and that inspired me and so many other generations of Native Hawaiians. And so, in closing, I just want to mahalo you, Trustee Trask, for your years of service to our people, to your unyielding commitment to our lahui, and for your tireless work to uplift indigenous peoples here in Hawaii and all over the world. I know that your legacy of leadership, of courage, will remain strong. Here at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, I hope to continue the great work that you have started and bring things to fruition. Just mahalo nui loa for everything you've done. And Trustee, or Chair Lindsay, thank you for giving me an opportunity to say a few words. Aloha.
Aloha. Before I call on Trustee Trask to do her remarks, tomorrow morning we have our Hawaii Island Board of Trustees meeting starting at 9:30 here at Nanimau Garden. This meeting can be viewed live on our oha.org/live stream. Before I turn the time over to Trustee Trask to say good night, get one last minute person. That's a fancy name. Kulihai Apai. Ahia oi. Potau ane.
Aloha and mahalo.
Aloha, please pronounce your name for me.
Yes, my name is Tupo Veongo Potauaine Kuliha Apai.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. Mahalo for receiving me at last minute. I wanted to just kind of voice my opinion as a kupuna wahine of the future and as a keiki wahine of the present who is raising the future generation. I wanted to address some viewpoints as somebody who represents lineages of Tonga, Samoa, Fiji, and Hawaii, and explain that our kupuna are our keiki. They rest on our shoulders today, and it is not just on our kupuna and ourselves, but every decision that we make in the future affects our keiki. I'm a Native artist, a Native Hawaiian wahine artist, who represents all of the women and all of the men who have advocated for us in the past, including Auntie Mililani Trask and her sister Haunani-Kay Trask. That along with Monike Alaakaka, who has also served as our OHA trustee at large and done amazing things for our people. Thank you so much for your service, and Auntie Millie, I'm so happy to be here and spend time with you today. And I know for sure that your efforts will not cease, and I am so grateful for the effect that you've had on me as a woman before, during, and after my motherhood. I am also a former haumana of the Ea Ecoversity, Kanaka Entrepreneurship, and I'm also a lineal owner of Aina Kuleana in Hanalei, Kauai. Today, I do not ask for money, but I do ask for your thoughts and your creative solutions as an organization that represents our people to help us come up with solutions that are different in their approach than they have been in the past years. I ask that you please recognize, indeed, as the Navai Ola speakers today have mentioned Olelo and Mo'olelo, and also that we may seek to find more proper advocates for those who are of Mo'okua'auhau in our community to verify these things in a traditional sense and not just with a palapala. I also ask that as a Kuleana Aina owner today, whose family has remained and never left their Kuleana Aina in Hanalei, Kauai, do not discount my relatives who may not hold palapala, although I do. Please do not discount them from our benefits and our right to determine for ourselves based on the native tenant rights of the Kingdom of Hawaii as lineal descendants of people whose fee simple ownership precedes that of the standing government that occupies our state as a people of the Kingdom of Hawaii. I ask that you consider the value of Kuleana to our people. Haunani-Kay Trask, in her book, Native Hawaiian, as a Native Hawaiian daughter, she wanted to express to us to not use our language and our culture to decorate ourselves in today, but to use this to fuel ourselves in all the ways that we look upon our futures for tomorrow. And that is what I've gleaned from all of her teachings and all of her actions. And that's why I stand here today with the utmost respect for you, Auntie Millie, because I know that she's your sister and that's who you looked up to. We cannot afford to be alienated from our rights to determine for ourselves under the Kuleana Native Tenant Rights Act that was stamped during our kingdom, that was put in place during the time of Kauikeaouli Kamehameha III. That is our right throughout occupation. And this is spoken about, and I would greatly encourage you folks to employ your time toward understanding international law and our stance as a people who are occupied. We are still native subjects. We are still indigenous subjects to a nation that stands today. And we have often been encouraged to sign off on our rights to our Aina Kuleana and our native tenant rights in order to be beneficiaries of some of your most wonderful programs that can really help us to make it through the issues that we face today. That's something that I would greatly appreciate that you might consider. And also to help us to meet our requirements monetarily without the requirement of signing off our rights as Native Hawaiian subjects under occupation, as we are all constituents who are worthy of the benefits that come through the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. Thank you very much.
Mahalo. So before we call it a night, I'm going to ask Trustee Trask to say a few remarks.
I just want to thank everyone who has come for this last board meeting that I will attend. When I look at your faces, I see so many things that uplift me, so many good friends. As I said earlier, I will not go anywhere. I'm so honored to be the one to pass the torch to a leader such as who we have coming in with Kai. We have lived here for years, and he is born and raised Miloli'i. How can we not do anything more than a great job for our island by working together? I see the faces of many old friends who sat at this table. You know, it is a great honor, but also a great burden. There's many great needs that we have, and few to really carry that load. But when you hear the resiliency of our peoples, when you hear the proposals for things like future funding, you can't help but feel that we move forward. You know, when I sign my letters, I always sign, "We go forward" at the end. Because for those of us that know why we're here, and it's really a calling from the Okua, that we are Hawaii. Of all the places we could have been born, of all the cultures we could have inherited, Okua placed us here. So it is our kuleana to take care of this and to pass these teachings forward. You know, what a great honor to stand among that number. So it has been just an uplifting thing for me. And the work with our colleagues, it's very difficult. But when I look at the faces of those in our community who are here, you know, the thing is that you are so resilient. You wind up, after all this time, just saying, "Mahalo Keokua," that I was here. And no worry, because I am not going anywhere. I'm retiring for my island and my struggles. I pray Akua bless us all and continue to strengthen our collective efforts to renew our culture, our language, and our health as well. How greatly blessed are we. Mahalo nui, Ohana and my colleagues.
Trustees, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Yes. Mahalo. Thank you all for coming tonight.